This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is brought to you by yours truly, Realtor Matt Norn of Remax Bell Park Realty. For any of your real estate needs, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Norn and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the #1 podcast in my basement. Every week, we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. Sometimes we even bring on local bands. Like today, we have Hopeville General Store Band's Ron Lynch and Roy Hoole. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Better now that you're here.
So talk to us about this band. First of all, Hopeville General Store. I think we got to get some background on Hopeville General Store, right?
So the name basically, I want to signify what the band was about. You know, the music that we write is got to be from our own personal experiences. You know, and I'm not a gangster rapper. I'm not like I'm not from the mean streets.
No way.
I'm not from the Big Easy, right? I'm from Eastern Connecticut, so that's
Yep.
what I know. So I write about what I know, and the Hopeville General Store was a place in the middle of my community where I grew up, and it was the place where the kids would go ride their bikes before they went on the adventure, or families would stop in to get ice and beer and tackle before they went fishing at Hopeville State Park. And you'd stop there, you'd forget something at the store, you're on your way from work. Locals would get their cigarettes and lottery tickets. It's like it's a general store.
Right.
But it would really, even at a young age, I understood that it was the community place. My grandmother was friends with the woman who owned it. They'd always have to gossip for a little while, while we went all got some penny candy, that kind of thing. So these kinds of memories stick and come out through our songs, tying those experiences together with the name, kind of helped me get a foot into the community. So people that grew up around that understand that pretty quickly, and it helps you bond a little bit better when you listen to the music.
Yeah, and there's 4 members of this band, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. We're working.
We fluctuate.
We're working as a 4-piece now. At the root of it is Roy and I. We're writing partners in this, and I like how Jake puts it in seasons. We bring in artists in seasons.
We'll work with a drummer for as long as they're available and they can do what we have on the table. And I mean,
same thing with the accompaniment. Yep. We started with an organ on the side. He had other projects he was working on, and we encourage people to do that, Roy and I, because we know we're all adults. If for me to ask, if I was 19 and ask other 19-year-olds, give up your life and start this dream,
we're gonna hit the big time.
We're all in our 40s, man. We don't hire drummers unless they're retired and 65 plus. And you got to be responsible. Those guys aren't easy to come by too. So we're blessed to have a lot of good musicians in our lives that are willing to be polly-jamberous with us.
Polly-jamberous, okay.
So Roy and I are the heart of it, and then we're working with another guitar player right now, Jake LaBooty. He's doing good. He's going to ride out the season with us and then take a break, but I'd love to see him come back.
Yeah.
And we got other irons in the fire, too, and people we pull in and play with for bigger shows.
Wow.
We could be up to a 6-piece in a moment's notice.
Wow, that's cool. So that must mean you guys kind of jam with other random people all the time at practices and stuff like that.
I mean, right? I've been part of the music community for, I don't know, probably 5-6 years in New England. In New England, and this band's been together for about 2-3 years, and you meet people all over New England if you go out and do it. It's a matter of getting out into the community and talking to people, and we go camping with people. We could do a lot of music festival stuff, and that's kind of the direction we've gone in recently. I mean, I guess this year is about getting the music out to more people, and we kind of did a lot of local stuff for the first year and a half, and now playing a lot of shows in Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Got some Rhode Island stuff booked. Got for the fall.
Yeah. And performing for people, you sell yourself, right? and other musicians see it, I think, differently than the crowd.
They're more your fans than like all of my friends that are musicians are more my fan than anything. We're all each other's fans.
Right.
There's a line in a Rush song about that, but it's really the truth. It's where that's what musicians do. They go out and watch each other's shows, and
I feel like that's what also where the music is for. Like the songwriting, the lyrics all have to do with the place and the where, right? But the musicality of it, the way we write our songs, is actually more for those musician type people because, we are ourselves picking our own stuff apart, and I have a hard time listening to top 40 radio. I'm a snob, right? So we try to write music for those people that are, only listen to their Spotify playlist. Well, I want to be on your Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we try to be unique in that way and surrounding yourselves with people that are better than you. That's how we do it.
Absolutely.
We went to a jam yesterday where,
well, mind blown. I played with one of the best guitar players in Connecticut for 6 songs yesterday and feel like $1 million today. It was
That's cool.
But it's getting out there. It's getting yourself out there, and
you have to be a part of the community to be accepted by the community.
Right.
You got to go out there and do stuff.
you got to fail in front of them and then succeed in front of them because it's a music community, so people are paying attention. People put a lot of effort into it's a craft. That's why we're here today. Music is a craft, and it's something that you practice at. It's something you work at. People take lessons. People go have teachers. People have seminars. It's just like any craft that you do, and you get better at it. You perfect your craft, and we've been working together for over 2 years now. I mean, we've known each other for longer than that, but working on this project for over 2 years, and it's been good, and it's getting out there.
Yeah. What's your what would you say your genre is most like?
We brand it as rock and soul, or rockabilly and soul, because there's a lot of country music, but we tend towards older country music more. We don't really play any current music.
Yeah.
Right.
There's probably nothing on we might sneak some stuff in from 15 years ago. Most of the songs we're playing are probably from before I was born.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're not progressive. We're regressive. We're trying to. We're trying to be.
But I think that's a purpose of it's paying homage to what you enjoy out of music. That's what music is. Music's like you don't learn how to play music and you're just going to magically create something that has never been heard before. You learn how to interpret a song that someone else has already created in your own way, make it your own, and hopefully people like it.
It all comes back around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I will say Ron and I met, I don't know, at least a decade ago, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
We used to sell Kirby's. It was a good time.
The vacuum cleaner?
Oh, yeah. Knocking on doors, man.
Yeah, back in 08 when carpentry was not a big thing.
Is that a pun? No.
I guess it is.
That
now.
was good. I like that.
Unintended. I started working for. Actually, you were the manager, so I was working for you.
True.
Trying to sell Kirby's.
I didn't get that right away, but when you work for a job and your manager was promoted 3 months after getting hired, and he's 19, is
I don't know. It got me through some times that was
I
really
learned a
tough
lot.
financially, but then also learning to we were subcontractors, so you
Sales,
learn
learning
sales.
sales skills, learning how to build and sell yourself, and learning how to pull your boots up and hustle.
Is that what got you into talking to everybody?
No, I did that before.
Yeah, I think that's why we got along.
They're like, call Ronnie every time there's a decision to be made when you're in the house. I'm like, I can call Ronnie. I don't care.
He's all right.
Hey, how you doing? Put her on the phone. I don't care. I don't care what the situation. Put her on the phone.
So it was definitely fun. I don't know if what did I go, 8 months maybe?
You were there for a while.
Yeah. And so anyway, we would hang out afterwards, and Ronnie.
You're on a very short list, by the way. That's a very high turnover business. I met hundreds and hundreds of people a month, and you were on a short list of people I hung out with after work.
Yeah. We hung out, and Ron could play any song on his acoustic guitar that I mentioned. It was incredible. I was just sitting there naming
does it.
songs,
Yeah.
and it was just like, he's like, yeah, I know that one. And you're just like, and then like a couple of chords later, it was like he's playing. It sounds just like him. You know, it's just like I was so like in awe because I have zero musical talent, like zero.
Well, you trade musical talent for friends, you know. And I spent a lot of, lonely nights in the basement with my guitar. That's what you got.
But yeah, just the and then like when you guys were talking about making it your own, like Ron would literally take like a rock song or a rap song and then make it a totally different genre, like country or pop, or you would just reverse it, and it was just like it was incredibly like that's like not only was it a good song originally, but now it's like now you hear it in a whole different way, and you can interpret it in a whole different way.
We're still doing
we do that
a lot of
Yeah.
well, one of the big things as far as picking songs that we shoot for is to pick songs from what we call the classic era of hip hop and pick the songs that they took a record and sampled it for on their mixer and turned it into a hip hop beat. We want to learn the actual song that the record was made from. So that's kind of most of the songs that we pick are all probably a beat from a could be anything.
Like we play the song one way, and if the drummer plays it a different way, now all of a sudden it's like Notorious B.I.G. or like
Exactly.
we're playing the songs Wu-Tang sampled from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those old soulful melodies and bigger band stuff. We need a horn section.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a lot of funk music too. Like that's. I mean, but so like back to the genre thing. It's trying to kind of.
Yeah, that was the question. What genre?
Trying to be genre-less, but still pay homage to what you enjoy. And I kind of think it sells itself because, like, as long as you pick songs that are good songs, but maybe they're not the song that every other band is going to play. If you were going to go hear a cover band, you're probably not going to hear a lot of the songs that we necessarily play.
We're not
here.
picking A-sides. We're picking like you
Exactly.
pick top 40. I go from the bottom up.
Exactly.
I like the songs that you're going to recognize and hear, but you'd never heard another band do that. You know,
Oh,
like-
wait, I know this. That's
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
shooting for, and I feel like that's been a good goal.
We've been pretty good at picking them
Yeah.
off-track ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, typically, what kind of gigs do you guys get?
We were doing whoever would have us. That's how
it starts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we are.
Yeah, we're still there.
Whoever will
We may
come
never-
and talk
Well,
to
you
us.
guys invited us over here, right?
I don't think we'll ever get out of the if you'll have us.
What it was is I was actually knocking doors. Excuse me. Is your carpet home? No. So the
That's a Kirby.
Was
thing,
that,
by the
was
way.
that what you asked?
Oh, yeah, you did anything to break the ice.
Different things, different times of the year too. Like right now, we're looking at our next bunch of shows are festival sets.
Yeah.
at a
some
lot
pretty
of
big
them.
festivals
Yeah,
actually
pretty-
lined up this year. Well, our goal was thank you for bringing me back on track, Roy. That's why Roy and I are perfect partners. Because we will both go
Back
off the
in
rails,
line.
but when we see it, the other one holds a foot. Okay, come on back. Here we are. So we started anywhere that would have us, right? Playing backyards in any bar and whatever for no money. And then we did our own open mic night, and that's how we started bringing in other musicians to the circle. That's when I really started leaning on that polly-jamberous line. It is a part of our culture. And we working with different musicians, bringing them in, expanding our sound. Then we got to bigger venues, bigger bars, and now we're working further and further out of state. We're going to Western Massachusetts, around the Amherst College, and around the Boston area, and around the Providence area, New Haven, and hitting those places. The more new ears that hear us, the more stickers I put in hands and magnets on the back of cop cars. The more, it's not a crime if it comes right off.
Well, and it's really about the social media stuff matters too. So being able to go and play different markets, different music markets regularly, and go back to a club twice a year, as opposed to playing the same bar around the corner regularly.
Which we
So
still love doing, though.
we
by the
love
way.
doing
We'll still
that.
go to a dive bar.
Yeah, we
But-
enjoy the dive bars.
But
I mean, all it takes is one person in the audience to put one reel up that has
Mhm.
hundreds of
Absolutely.
thousand followers, and then all that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how everyone goes viral. We have not had that happen to us yet.
Well, we're working on it.
But it's all,
I have
it-
a quick
it's
question.
all-
What's a reel?
So you know what I made today with the music on?
Yes.
That's a real.
I saw there's an option for us.
Well,
We're
so-
still learning.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a.
I went to tech school.
It's
I don't
like
know
a
these
short video, and
Right.
you
Yeah.
can. And now you can have Facebook and Instagram. They'll make a reel out of a video. So if
Yeah.
you had a video that somebody sent you, they'd make it for you.
We're gonna do some more reels.
Yeah, actually, I will not claim half the reels that we have there because, like Facebook or
they put
AI,
'em out, yeah.
something
Makes it.
automatically makes a reel. Once
yeah,
we
it's
post
something.
a
It's
lot
some
of it.
kind of new thing, and I've heard a lot about it. but
Yeah, it's the
We'll ask the
30
kids.
second.
They'll get us.
I'll come out of my cave and learn about
You
it.
have.
at some
I mean, you
point.
have a social media manager, right?
Right. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, when I put out the reel today, you responded like instantly and,
Yeah.
and shared it. So it's-
That was a
you're
super
definitely on
coincidence.
it. Oh, really?
That was, yeah.
We were
That-
both on the can at the same time. Is that what happened?
My role today was very. I have a rule about phones in bathrooms at work.
Oh.
Oh, you
for
work
some
with
reason not at
food,
home.
so-
But it was I happened to be. This is crazy. Like I got way ahead in my prep and what I was doing, and I'm like, oh man, like we're gonna open soon. We're gonna be open in like 25 minutes. Oh, we're gonna be open in like an hour and 45 minutes. Okay. Oh, Matt said something. Perfect. But that was that coincidentally. Oh, our next venue coming up, Strange Creek.
Yeah, Strange Creek is that's
Where's that?
Strange Creek is at Camp Keenawani in Greenfield, Massachusetts. It's a 12 to 15,000 person festival
Wow.
that
Wow.
goes. There's Strange Creek and Wormtown, which happen at the same event,
Is
at
that
the
Where-
same
no, no,
festival
same
grounds.
location.
Same location.
Different times a year.
Wormtown.
Oh,
Is that where they came up with Wormtown Brewing?
No, that's a whole longer story. It has something to do. Wormtown has something to do with the town of Worcester, but I don't
It was the
actually.
vendor. It was the vendor and the store, and then it became a music. They, through that company,
Oh,
got involved in supporting and
Gotcha.
promoting the music festival. It's been going on for like almost
But
30 years.
But Strange Creek, what we're playing, I know is what became of Camp Creek,
you're right.
which Max Creek, which is one of the longest running jam bands in the New England area. They've been around
A lot
for
of people heard of Max Creek.
45, 50 years. They always had their own show in New York, and then it got combined with this thing, which has now kind of become I'd say Strange Creek is probably the largest festival in New England as
biggest
far as
jam band festival for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Three stages run all day long, 2 cabins overnight for music.
They don't start playing music till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
last band
goodness.
goes on at 2:30 a.m. Yeah, it's awesome.
That
That's
sounds
a third
miserable.
shift festival.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, and I went to my first one maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it's kind of one of those things where you almost have to go back just to see what's going to happen that weekend.
Yeah.
It's really it's a good time, and it's Memorial Day weekend every year is Strange Creek, and then Wormtown is like the third weekend of
September.
September.
Okay.
But
So it's a little cool. It's a little cooler.
Yeah.
You kind of get a different vibe. I would say Strange Creek. Everyone's ready to.
It's
get
4
nuts.
days of camping and music, and
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
the things you get ready to go do when you camp and see music. There's a lot of coolers. There's a lot of coolers. There's a lot of. Oh, another great thing. I was coming around to the point of some of the good that place does. A lot of coolers fill a lot of beer. It's a big festival that happens. They collect the cans and bottles right there, and all that. I believe it goes to Boy Scouts of America, right?
Yeah.
That one.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
Boy Scout camp.
It's Boy Scout camp.
Yeah.
And so they collect things there. They also do food and clothing donation there.
Yep.
And you can it does good for the community. It also does good for the Boy Scout camp. When all these people come in, they're driving over the paths and flattening them. They're stepping on all the grass. They don't have to mow. We go out in the woods and we make our own campsites so they don't have to come and do cleanup, right? So when the kids come in, the kids have an easier time and better time focusing on the fun they're having in the summer versus cleaning the camp up for the year, right? And all the security guys, I was talking to them last year. Turns out you can rent them. They'll carry your stuff out on the 4-wheelers. So I didn't know that. So security guy comes over and he's telling me he does it every year. He volunteers his time. He uses his 4-wheeler to do the patrols. It's his gas. You know, he stays up as long as he can every day, and then people give him tips and stuff, and they charge you. They come around with a trailer and like, you know, you've been camping, you're tired for 4 days. They'll drag you out of the woods, you know, half mile on
Yeah,
for 20
because
bucks.
it's not like you go camping and you get to like drive your car up and drag everything.
Oh, yeah,
off.
no,
It's
you
nothing
haul your
like
gear.
that.
It's like Burning Man.
Yeah, well, you carry
It's
your gear
a
half mile in the
smaller
woods.
version, but yes, it would be the closest to a festival of those size. It's
Yeah.
the closest you're going to get in New England.
And so he was saying everybody that pays him $20 to bring the cars out, all of that cash goes to the Boy Scout camp, pays for their
nice.
food for the year,
Wow.
which is really cool.
Yeah,
So like
that's wild.
it's not only is it fun for us, we're doing good for, you know, a community and for the future really of good guys everywhere.
Now, to become a band on that stage of that festival or any festival, is there like a tryout? Is there like a bar you have to?
There's a
jump
process,
over?
and I've heard people get into it different ways. You know,
Sure.
national acts get asked, you know, hey, will you play at this festival? And then the regional acts are probably booked there by their management, and then people on our level have to kind of bid for it. You know, get into a battle of bands, or you're, you know,
That was our path.
That
We
was our
came
path,
in
yeah.
through the Battle of the Bands, and actually all of the bands that participated are
yeah,
represented.
we all
on
learned
it.
sets.
Oh wow.
They hadn't done that before. There was a clear and cut winner, but this time, like, the first stage was like getting votes, and all of us had like a tremendous amount of votes, and they were so close in
Yeah,
the voting.
yeah.
And then we all went up on stage and played.
All great bands. too.
All great bands.
great
Yeah.
bands.
So all 6 of us were different genres.
I was just gonna ask
You
how
know,
many bands.
you
that
could
was.
pick 2 rock bands, right? Which one was better than the other? But like every one of us was
It
different.
had its own
unique.
thing.
We
Yeah.
every had great crowd participation, and every band was fun to watch. You know, so it was great that they gave us all sets. We had
So this is the first time you guys are playing that.
yeah this would be our
At
first year.
at this festival, yes.
Nice.
But we've played Trout Stock Music Festival, which I'm very good friends with a band out of Boston called Leon Trout, which is they're a dance metal
Yeah,
band, I
it's
would
weird to
call
say
it, if you
dance
want to
metal,
say
but
it.
it's-
But that's really what it is. It's really
They're a party rock band, but they got a hard edge, and they do the squealy thing, and
Yeah.
but it's
Wow.
enjoyable
great
music,
people though.
danceable music.
Great people. I've been friends with them for over 5 years now, and slept at each other's houses and done our thing. I mean, that's the thing. You get to know
Right.
your fellow musicians. It's like it kind of becomes your friends, the people you see on the weekends, especially
We've
when
all
you
had
start.
the same rites of passage, so like
Exactly.
knowing what somebody's gone through and being able to relate to somebody that quickly, like
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
make
that's-
good bonding friendships that way.
Music is also, I like to say this, music is about your Rolodex too. It's not just about how good you are or how good your music is. A lot of it really is who you know and who's paying attention to you and who you rub elbows with, and
That's why I help everybody I meet.
hey, try to be nice to everybody, and it's
How can I help?
simple stuff. You know?
Yeah, actually, I was listening to a sports podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about the same thing. Like, you think like the NBA is all the best players ever, but there are some out there that are great players, but they never made it there because they didn't get on the right stage or the right, they
Sure.
weren't in the right tournaments, the right games.
They didn't get the right management. They didn't get
Yeah,
there's a
whatever
lot
it
of
is, they
ways
didn't go to the
it
right
happened.
college, and they just didn't get the exposure where the NBA actually saw them, and drafted them. So it was like it's kind of wild to think of like how much talent there could be in the world that's
Yeah,
like overlooked
unseen,
or
yeah.
or not missed or on the individual too, to not push or work
Yeah.
quite
Exactly.
hard enough, or sometimes when you meet these individuals with a lot of, we'll say, God-given talent, they're beating everybody at their earlier levels real easy, so they kind of get lazy about it and
Yeah.
work as hard at it, so that can play a big factor in it too, even though
Common pitfall of musicians. It happened to me too, being younger. I was like, this isn't so hard. I picked it up pretty quickly, and I'd put it down for like months and months at a time. And I wish I didn't.
Yeah, it's I mean, definitely go on phases. I've always had kind of a love-hate relationship with construction itself, and that was kind of what led up to, after 15 years, just like, putting it down and becoming a realtor. It was just like, now I can do it when I feel like I want to do it, or do the
I learned what a pergola is because of you. And now I want one because I have a house.
Useless wood in the sky. That's
It's a thing for the vines to grow on. That's what
and shade. Yeah, provide some shade. Yeah.
for about 2 hours when the sun hits. Terrible for rain protection. Not we.
Yeah, that was definitely. I did a lot of those. That was kind of like a thing for a while. Even when I was working for someone else, became kind of like my side hustle was to do pergolas all the time.
That's a great side hustle. If you're a carpenter. I'd throw a pergola together.
You
Really
leave your
quick.
car, be like, call me back if you ever want a roof for that thing.
Yeah, when you get tired of getting wet in rainstorms, I'll
Guaranteed, this is gonna leak.
Oh man.
It was. They were fun, and you got to, depending on what tail they wanted and whatnot, you got to put your own creative energy into it, and it was funny because. I don't know. You must remember when I lived in Woodstock in that little ranch. I can remember I was building one and I had to paint, and it was in the middle of winter, and I had parts all over the house, trying to dry them out in the living room and the bedroom.
I remember the garage was stacked up. You had I think you had like 2 ladders or something with like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was definitely a thing. Had the wood stove installed, not to code, and surprised it didn't burn the place down. So yeah, you do what you got to do to get your craft. But I understand that whole like put it down for a few months, and when it's like a career, you can't do it sometimes. You can't take a break sometimes, and that's it's tough. So with woodworking now, I get to take a break whenever I want. So
It's good.
Must be nice.
As long as houses are selling. Could be a point where the houses aren't selling, and
Then you might have to bring out some.
might have to swing a hammer again, and that is what it is,
Important to be multifaceted.
Yeah. So
So when is that festival?
Friday.
We're leaving.
Oh,
We
wow.
play Friday morning.
Okay.
We're heading up Thursday night. Set up camp.
Yeah.
Wake up fresh.
So camping must throw in a whole nother factor into that,
Oh, yeah.
as to how well you sleep and how well you play, or any of that sort of thing. Or-
If you sleep.
If you sleep.
okay.
It's because it is a party. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
It's not, nobody's rude. Nobody's going to shake you out of your tent, but, there's always things going on, and it's easy to get distracted. I'll see you, in a half hour or so. I'm just going to walk around this way. 2 hours later, you're like 20 feet down the trail because you found,
What else to do?
People
somebody
to
else
talk
peddling
to.
something else. There's vendors everywhere and crafts, and
wow.
it's a huge interactive thing.
That is cool.
But yeah, we play at I should check the
11:30 to 1.
11:30 to 1.
11:30 to 1 on Friday morning.
So
Friday morning. Yeah.
and everybody comes and packs in. I wouldn't say everybody. Would you say probably 30% of the people show up on Thursday night?
Probably more than that.
There's a good chunk of people that pay extra to come early, and there's like a couple of little things going on Thursday
Well,
night.
Thursday night they have late night music too. It gets going. I think the first band goes on at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
But a huge majority of people, a line that takes hours to drive through begins to come in on Friday morning. So most people, as they're getting to the festival, are getting in 9, 10, 11 o'clock, setting up their tents, and then heading out. And they set up their tents where our stage is. So we're gonna have.
Yeah, we got a really good spot.
We got a really good spot.
So you play to like people just camping.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
fucking cool. That's cool. That's
It's
not like-
everywhere.
It's
Check
roads,
it out, man.
roads of- yeah.
It's a good
that is
time.
wild.
We're gonna take some cool videos this time and kind of maybe do a live feed on.
Yeah, you
Sunday
should have your
morning.
social media manager.
Yeah,
Call the guy.
I'll send them a reel about it.
Let's get real. Oh, sorry. Terrible dad. So, like, now you play on Friday. Do you play any more throughout the weekend? Is that
Just the 190-minute set there.
No.
And I actually heard this from a good friend of ours, Will, last year when him and I were talking about after the set. He was so excited. I'm like, it's a bummer you play first, early in the morning. He's like, no, you play first, and then you can do whatever you.
That's
Right.
I'm sorry. I like
Yeah.
to be a band that's booked at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm kind of psyched because I've been on the other end of it. I've played at 11
2 in the
o'clock
morning,
at
3 in the
night
morning. Yeah.
and following acts that are coming off the main stage that are the headlining act.
Yeah.
I like where we're at.
Yeah, we're in a good spot. Yeah. We're gonna make a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's
That's cool.
plus it's fun. It's really for the fun of it.
Right.
I make my
Yeah.
money during the week. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if this paid, we would be rich. Absolutely. The amount of work we put into it.
You can bill your hours.
Yeah.
So then you were talking earlier before the podcast about how wild and busy your spring and
Oh yeah, we have a.
winter were,
This
so,
has
like-
been it's been a push to get here. I had said, I don't know how into manifesting in the universe you guys are, but it is said that if you say you want something and you pursue it relentlessly, you'll get it, right? So at Strange Creek last year, after walking around all weekend, I said out loud, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come. We're going to play here. It's going to be awesome. And my intention was to do the following Wormtown. So about 18 months of planning and pushing was the plan. And I started thinking about that in my head. How was I going to do it? What shows do we have to play? What things do we need recorded? What videos, this and that? And then, we're pushing and pushing for this starting in December or so. We said it out loud that that's what we want to do. And randomly a post came up, said, hey, what bands do you want to see at Strange Creek? I was like, my band. And they're like, cool, you're in the running. Tell your friends to vote for you. What?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
so
next
that
thing-
was the battle of the bands.
That was it, yeah. And
Wow.
Well,
went from
the
having
battle
beer-
of the bands was 28 bands on social media that you had the top
You had to
6
beat
bands of those
Yeah.
other, and
Oh,
I mean
okay.
we were over 400.
Yeah, we had a
We're
ton.
very close to 400.
And thank you
likes
to our
and-
community. That's
Yeah, big
Yeah,
time.
that's
yeah.
awesome.
The literally reaching out on Facebook to our local community group. Everybody in town and
tagging people into
Grizzled
it
now
hurts
in Lisbon
and
now,
posts.
like, hey, we live and practice in Lisbon. Everybody knows Hopeville General Store. This is what we're trying to do. Everybody came together and got me the votes and said all kinds of nice things. And now those people are coming out to shows, and it's great to meet those kinds of people, and kind of shows that our community, our community does support each other, which is
Right, right.
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool to
that's
see.
So, have you guys been playing every week, a couple of times a month? How often do you guys practice? What's your schedule like?
It's at least one practice a week, I would say. We get together no
Individually,
less
we
than
play
1 week.
more than that, but
But yeah, I mean, gig wise, we probably do 3 shows a month with this band, and he'll do some solo stuff just to
Yeah, so yeah,
provide some revenue.
Brooklyn Fair 2 years in a row now.
yeah.
Playing solo.
You've
This is
been
my
third.
fourth.
We played 2 years ago.
I
No
had been
Hopeville General Store set last year, but we're going to be
I was by
back at the
myself
Brooklyn
last year.
Fair.
I've been playing it for a few years,
Yeah.
and I do a few shows each year. So I will be at the Brooklyn Fair this year. Selfless
Oh.
promo.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's what
That's
There's
it's
no
all
shame
about.
here.
What do you know? What time you're playing yet? Or what?
I could pull it up in a little bit, but follow Hopeville General Store, and I'm sure you will see the flyers because
Yeah.
that's what I do. I make flyers, and
Nice.
everybody knows. I talk about it a lot. So
Yeah. Now, do you guys play weddings?
we would. I've done solo. I've done solo stuff like for cocktail hour, or
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did the ring ceremony thing, but
We could definitely scale up
Yeah.
to do weddings. That would just be a matter of bringing a piano player on, maybe some horns, making
Yeah.
sure we got a drummer that's willing to play for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it too.
Right.
Like
it's about hiring the right people.
That's
he
a
wasn't
lot of work.
joking. He wasn't joking about working with 68-year-old people either. To get people to say, "This is what we're gonna do."
That's who has the time.
Yeah,
3 hours is a long,
it's a long gig.
long gig.
And wedding gigs are like that. A wedding band in my mind is the most lucrative. There's a level of lucrativeness as far as being in a musical act goes. Wedding bands up here, Hopeful General Store is below. We spend money on
The whole
it.
idea is
So,
like the wedding band is you hire them and you pay the money because they're going to do exactly what you
what
want,
you want.
Yeah.
right? And we could do that.
Yeah.
But I actually had I don't think I shared this metaphor. I came up with a fun metaphor for this the other day because I cook for a living, right? I'm a chef, and I've been doing it a long, long time. I know a lot about it, and it's getting to the point where, you have to make a decision. Am I doing this for my craft, for me, or am I going to use this to pay the bills? So I do what I call selling out, right? I sold out. I work for a big corporation. They treat me very well.
Me
I love
too.
I love working for them.
Same.
I get a lot of freedom and creativity. They give me, a guideline in a book and say, hey, use anything in this book. I got all kinds of great stuff in that book I can use. And I still feel satisfied as a chef, and my bills are paid. And I have the weekend off, and I'm home at, 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night. So,
Yeah, having a weekend off gig as a chef,
it's
is
amazing.
So hard to do.
but at the same time, I still have to feed that, crazy angry chef in me that needs to do something insane.
Yeah,
So I get to do that on my family, you know, and I get Thanksgiving off to be able to do that, and the Christmases, and be able to travel and stuff, and it's amazing. But relating that to music, um, it's the same thing. You know, we could kill ourselves. I love to play a dive bar. I would play a dive bar twice a week if I could, because the crowd's there, and there's only 30 or 40 people there, and it's packed. You know, and everybody loves it, and everybody has a good time. But those types of crowds that are into your music are very small, and you have to work really hard to pay the bills with that. You know,
Yeah.
you can go play commercial rock and play, you know, what's playing on the radio, and everybody loves you, and you get paid a lot of money, but it doesn't, you know, your soul doesn't take cash, right? They really don't.
That's a good
and the
saying.
and the bank doesn't take experience, so you have to feed both piggy banks.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? You know, and luckily, you know, we based this whole project on the fact that we have jobs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that pays our bills, and then we have this band, and that feeds our souls.
Right.
It's a lot. I mean, we could set a lot more short-term goals if we really wanted to, but we really concentrate on the long-term goals, and that's why we're playing bigger venues and
Bigger festivals
markets
and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, because to me, it's like what I live here. I live in Eastern Connecticut. I enjoy it, but I live here because I don't want to see everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to go. I want to play in Boston. I want to play in New York.
Have
I
you
wanna
guys?
play-
So you did say you played in Boston, or you have?
How close did we get? I used to live
Worcester.
in Boston.
We've played in Worcester.
Oh,
we have
we
not
did
played in Boston, as far as I know.
No,
Not had a Boston.
we have no. Hopeville General Store hasn't. I have. I used to live there. I used to play Block 11, a couple times that summer.
You ever
And then,
played Stomping Ground in Putnam? They have a pretty.
I've done the jam there, the open mic, but I haven't come back.
Their
No.
schedule is every
Wonky.
time I go
7
there,
days a week.
It's I don't even understand the logistics and how you even manage that. Yeah, 7 days a
They
week
have an
they have an
act?
act.
Yeah,
Wow.
7 days a week.
Wow.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Pete from Sawdust come on, and they have it on Friday nights, and he was saying just that alone was like
Yeah.
crazy to try and line up and manage.
Right.
And you hear Stomping
Well,
Ground.
you think about us having people on every Monday night.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot.
I mean, it's
How far out are you booked?
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
the
It's
next one
May.
we book will be
Yeah.
August.
Right.
Yeah.
And we do have like a couple of like one-offs that we've booked into the even further into the future, but because of the season they want to come on or whatever.
That's really our game. The real
game is
the
work on next
music
year.
the music game is to be booking gigs 6 months out.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, to be completely honest with you, is when somebody calls you and they have a gig for you in 3 weeks, it's probably not gonna be worth a lot.
There's a reason it's
There's a
available.
reason
Short
why
notice.
it's available on short notice. But when you work with promoters that want to, hey, I'm putting gigs together 6-8 months out. We're gonna be playing at the Parlor in Providence in a few months. A friend of mine is a booking agent there, and that's kind of how, in a lot of ways, I really like the wait for it to come to you organically approach,
Yeah.
because if you push too hard, you're kind of a pain in the ass. I did it. But no, you're
PG-13.
yeah, and people don't,
Yeah.
it's really about going out. I go to a lot of shows. I meet a lot of people. I when I go see a band I like and I like what they're doing, I talk to them about it.
That's like the original social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Just
being
shaking
social with people.
hands and spreading physically spreading the word of your band. And you're like, hey, check us out on YouTube. Check us
And,
out. On
and when
YouTube.
we meet people like that, we meet more people in our polly-jamberous relationship, because right, I've talked about this a lot. You can't play. If I don't know, Kirk Hammett from Metallica walked in this room, and I'm hiring lead guitar players, right? And he's a phenomenal lead guitar player, and he comes in, he wants to play, but he's a jerk. I don't really want,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good
you
you
have
are.
to hang out with them.
Yeah, I gotta hang out.
It's
with
just
you.
an example,
yeah.
though. We don't know if
We
Yeah.
call
Well, we don't know. Kirk Hammett might be a good guy. Speculatively, if he were,
I would say Lars is the jerk in that band.
that's fair. We could have went with that.
You
example.
could have went with Lars as the guy who you didn't want.
Are you sure he's dead? He's probably like Elvis. We're never sure.
But that the point being, when you go and you make
The hang.
the
It's the
contact.
hang.
Yeah,
It's
the hang.
it's
Yeah.
because even being in a band with people, oh my lord, like this is they make sure they could make an entire sitcom just about people being in. I'm sure they have at this point.
about people being in bands,
Well,
the kinds of
yeah,
characters that are around the music scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's a cast of characters.
Well, even going to camp, you guys are spending how much time together? And if you don't like
Yeah.
somebody, it's not about just the music anymore, right?
Right.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about the whole experience.
Being
about
Way
there.
beyond that.
And people hear a band, right? And I would I'm not going to give any specific examples because I don't want to knock anybody or lose fans, but there are people that perform pop music, right?
Mhm.
And they travel around, and it's their name, and it's a random assortment of members that play, and they pay top dollar for them, and they're very talented musicians. But when you are a musician and you make music, you sit and you listen to that, and I can tell that guitar player does not know the drummer's name. You know, I can tell that these guys have never smoked a
Yeah.
cigarette and in the rain together or whatever. So you can tell and you can feel that. Some people can. You know, I relate it to food as always. There's a line out the door at McDonald's at every mealtime, but most fine dining restaurants close on Monday and Tuesday. Right? People want simple, easy, right down the middle, you know, hand it out.
Right.
Which is fine. There's nothing against that. But if you wanna, I want to feed the people who are mad that Modesto's is closed on Monday.
for me, it's really about, especially when you're making music, make your own music. We're not really talking enough about that. Like, we write our own
Yeah.
songs. Like, we play, we have covers that we play, we have a songbook, but we're really in it to be a recording act. So getting songs that have emotion out there that people can relate to isn't necessarily an easy thing. It's not, it doesn't happen just like that either. And you can't do it with everybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't,
But when you do, and you hear it, when
and
comes out.
it takes time, but
Yeah.
it clicks.
Yeah.
Like I knew in meeting Ron that there was a potential for us to be able to have music that will be remembered for a long time, and that's to me what it's about. And it's nice when you see people who are your friends in the crowd paying attention to words of songs or come up and tell you about something they noticed about a song
Or
afterwards.
seeing our hat in other people's music videos.
Yeah, yeah, we get that.
cool,
too.
man.
Yeah, you see them in the wild, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe who I am.
Literally, I drove down the street the other day, the day of the eclipse. There was a guy in the street holding a sign up saying $1 to
See the
look through
eclipse
my
for $1.
eclipse glasses, and he had a Hopeville General Store hat on. So I pulled over. I gave him $1. I identified myself. I was like, you know, you're wearing my hat. Put the glasses on. I looked at the eclipse. I was like, oh, look at that. A freaking
Where?
whole.
where were you?
Right around the corner from my house in Lisbon, at a back
this is
road.
some
But
guy-
it's a friend of his that lives around the corner from me that I don't.
He
We
doesn't know.
met. We didn't know each other until that day, but he was in the. We know him because he's a local.
He's one of us.
Yeah,
He's a weirdo that you would let over your house.
yes, very well.
Now
put.
he's rich. He was selling views of the eclipse
Yes,
for
for a
$1.
dollar.
He made a whole $3, but it was great. And then I came home, and my friend showed up with glasses for totality. That was good. Jeff showed up with glasses. Shout out to Jeffrey May.
He's an angel.
He's a regular.
I brought gifts for you guys.
You did.
Oh,
This,
oh, cool, man.
That's awesome.
some little
Thank
merch
you.
packs, some stickers, and some
that.
hats.
Hopeville General Store. Who you on? Oh, all right. There you go.
Nice.
Beautiful.
We do
Yeah, where from
we
now?
give away stickers for free, but I'll sell you a hat if you come to a show. We got T-shirts as well.
T-shirts, hats, CDs, or is that
well,
is
CDs,
that out?
CDs are kind of going out, man.
It's already the right size. man.
Posters.
Nice.
Coasters.
I like coaster's a good idea. We're gonna get some more pins, some keychains, maybe.
We'll be making vinyl next year. That's
Yeah.
what, in
I
my
wasn't
mind,
gonna say
that's
it because-
really the real goal.
When you say
Life
vinyl,
goal.
you mean like
Record?
Records.
records.
Yeah.
Okay.
12-inch records. Yes.
Nice.
Well, it's become in recent years. It's become much more affordable for a smaller act to be able to produce vinyl, and vinyl has the best return for investment as far as like if you're going to spend money on selling merchandise, it's the best.
got the
thing
best
you can
margin.
have.
So what you're saying is we should
Really?
make vinyls
Yes.
of,
Of
our,
our
podcast.
podcast.
You should do individual recordings. Have a commercial at the end, like they do in National Geographic. I would like a recording of this.
You joke about it, but you'd be surprised
Yeah,
Somebody
people will
might
buy
do it. And
They'll buy 'em
people
all to
that are
collect 'em.
people that are record collectors
Mhm.
are record collectors. They might not even ever listen to your record, but they're like, oh, these guys have a record.
Yeah.
I'll give them, because you get $30 for a record.
Yeah, my daughter loves records. She'll shop at the store in Putnam that he has like secondhand ones,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
then
Yeah.
I know exactly.
my aunt has hundreds of them from like growing up, and I was gonna give them to her when she passes away. And she's 16,
Yep.
Yeah.
so she didn't grow up with like the old
Right.
vinyls and everything, right? She grew up with like the one you could buy at Target and now play vinyls, and, and she just loves them. But she's an old soul. She loves all.
There's a lot to be said for it. And I like vinyl too, because vinyl is like truly analog, where I like the idea that they can shoot it into space and some other species might be able to figure out how to operate it. The CD, it's probably not happening because their technology is just going to work
It's
differently.
laser, yeah.
But when you're talking about a little tiny needle that rubs in
it's
they
analog.
probably have got something figured out over there, something similar.
A few years ago, I actually, my family got me a record player for Christmas, and then I was able to go to my mom's basement and grab hers and my dad's collection. So
That's
like
great.
we have that all in the right in my kitchen, and I put it on when people are over. I put it on, whatever.
How's that CD collection holding up?
It's still in my office.
No one
I
uses
do
it.
put it on.
Records are the
I
thing.
do bring I was lucky enough. I buy used cars. I have a thing. I don't like new. I like all my stuff old and junky. All my music equipment, all my friends. So
That makes so much
That's the
sense.
biggest compliment. It's the biggest compliment Ron's ever given me.
I'll go to I love how I used to get CDs for what, 12, 15, 20 bucks.
Yeah.
And now you can go to the same record stores or thrift shops for $1 each, and I'm
Yeah.
getting CDs that I couldn't afford when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And but I popped 6 of them in the car, and it's
Yeah, the minute you get a scratch, it's over.
oh, yeah.
I have not paid for a CD in over 20 years at this point. There's no way I would pay for a CD at this
$1 is the most
Well,
I'll pay for a
speaking of
CD.
CDs, you guys are on YouTube, Spotify?
We are on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, OnlyFans. No, not
We're not on
Not on
OnlyFans
OnlyFans.
yet, Ron.
yet.
We're not that broke yet, Ron.
We're working on it. We're on as many social media outlets as we get. iTunes,
Oh, you're on
Pandora, yeah, all the major ones.
So I can download a song right now?
Please, yeah, iTunes, so you can pay for it. That'd be the best way.
Oh, no.
Do they have a pirated version?
That's called YouTube.
Spotify.
Yeah.
I'll buy the whole CD.
Does anyone send you money for that?
I've had the music on the internet for about a year and a month.
I don't think I've paid attention.
I'm gonna be honest and say no, we haven't made any money. Spotify tells you if you're eligible, and we are not. We're not eligible.
Because
for-
you don't.
You gotta
us too.
You gotta get enough clicks, right?
Yeah.
And-
On Facebook though, on Facebook we're eligible for monetization.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're ahead of us on that.
We're working on it.
So, on Facebook, so you have. I don't know how to monetize on Facebook.
Well, on Facebook it'd be ads, and you'd be doing videos and either mentioning things.
Oh,
or,
right.
Or they would take your videos and mix it in with their ads, so you're providing the material for there. So
Hi, this is Roy from Hopeville General Store representing Clorox.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink the bleach.
Oh, look at that.
That'd be our commercial.
Fleeting old exit. Do you have? Oh,
So
here's-
Old Exit 86 is what we named the EP. We recorded this 4-song EP with a good friend of ours, John Quinn, in Griswold, Connecticut, all in the Hopeville theme, right? And this was the idea behind recording this was to have something to book gigs, because we were at that time knocking doors for gigs. We have a couple friends that own bars. We played there. We called to the other bar in town and we played there. So how do we?
But you need something to
You
send
need
out
something
to
to
people.
send to them and say, trust us, we can play music, book us, and pay us.
It's a slippery, never-ending slope either, because you kind of have to. That's really the game, is to continue to put content out, because
Right.
it's music, but it's really content.
Exactly.
That's why we're here every Monday night at 6.
Yeah, tune in.
Including next
more
week when
content.
everybo's off. We are here on Memorial Day.
Oh man, you
Party
just
in the
work
basement.
to the grind.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are going to work really hard. I can tell. Dedication. I can smell it.
Well, I will buy. Oh, I'll buy the whole thing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I save. No, I don't save any money doing that, but I'll still do it.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.
Old exit.
Somebody,
Yeah.
we officially have sold one copy of the EP.
And so Apple will take the 30%, 30%,
That's true.
but you'll get 70.
Yeah.
There you go.
Before Uncle Sam finds out.
That's it. Wow.
We'll see how long it takes. We'll see how long it takes to show up on his phone now. See if you get your 70 cents before you walk out the door.
Oh,
Now,
that's fun.
how does that work with Uncle Sam? Because you're like,
So if money comes in, then I have to. If money comes in over $600, I have to report it. You know, but if not,
yeah. So,
no. When we start,
We're on the brink of we're on the brink of necessity as
Yeah.
far as all that goes. I don't know if you've ever been there. You're in business.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been to the point where you do something for a while and eventually it's like,
I should probably tell the
we
government
should
about
probably.
this.
Well, no, it's not only that. It's if you can kind of write stuff off that you
Yeah,
have.
to
If
help
you're not
those.
doing it, if you're not doing it right, are you really doing it?
Well,
you know?
what it is us deciding that it was no longer a hobby and that it is an actual business. You know, we are doing it for ourselves to, feed our souls, and it does cost us money to do. But we do, as we're getting into bigger shows, the checks we're getting to compensate are bigger and bigger.
Right.
And if they have to be, cash is one thing. We're just splitting it for gas money. We're not making big money here, guys. I'm talking like $30, $40 each tops.
yeah.
And
Well, I mean, we've walked out of shows with over $100.
Yeah, we
It's
get-
not,
we do well in
don't
tips.
don't
Yeah.
say we don't make anything,
do.
but it's
Right.
not.
I'm talking, we have to drive out. We're talking after gas. We're talking after dinner, after drinks.
Well, yeah, if you can pay me $125, I probably ate $35
Yeah.
worth of it
Definitely.
at the
I definitely
show,
gave you
and
some
then
back.
it cost me money to
You're,
get there.
you're at shows with vendors. So,
So
Think
I,
about the core memories you have.
but when
it's
you
all
walk
about.
away with $20, $30, you don't think to tell anybody. But we get to the point where everybody's walking away with $100 or $200. We should probably. I don't want to get in trouble.
yeah, we're gonna tell them.
we're gonna-
We'll tell them.
Good thing we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that problem.
You guys got
Yeah,
really
if you'd
low
like to advertise on the Community Workbench podcast, please reach out to the Community Workbench podcast at gmail.com.
Oh, you talked about putting things into the universe. They just happen.
Yeah.
Did you hear we needed a riff for our opening?
I did hear that.
Oh, we can provide.
I did hear that, and I did think of you, and I have a guitar right here. Actually.
Look at that.
Are you going to play with that one?
This is the good one. I was asked. There you go.
Nice.
All right. I was thinking more of a deliverance.
Still up to my old tricks. What else you got?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys wanted to play.
Oh yeah, you want to play a song?
Yeah. I
So-
lost the one we had. Oh, right there.
Which one is it?
Love is whatever.
Love is whatever. I tell stories on stage, so I'm gonna do that for you real quick. I wrote this song at Harmony House. I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, on my way back from a long trip. I had driven from Connecticut to Western Pennsylvania, Nashville, Mississippi, Dallas, Memphis, Nashville again, Louisville.
Wow.
And then I was coming home, and it was a long sweep, and I wasn't going to be able to hit an Airbnb. Luckily, Roy has in-laws out that direction, and I was able to relay a message and get a room.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually have an Airbnb, and they're like, yeah, no, it was stroke of luck. And after driving, I didn't realize how long Tennessee is a long state.
Oh, that's the second. Joey Diaz said that from the
Oh,
Movers.
right,
He's
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
if you drive east to west on
Oh,
the
it's
Ron-
It's got
Joey
nothing on
Diaz.
Pennsylvania. though.
We went to
Pennsylvania.
high school
That's
with
true.
Joey Diaz.
yeah.
So very long state, and I'm like, I'm not making any good time. And I finally get there, and I was so dog tired, and it was like super.
They wanted to feed him and hang out.
Yeah, they
with
wanted to feed
them,
him,
too.
and I wanted to. I really wanted to. I'm like, let me take a shower, let me go grab a pizza, and then I'll come up to the house and we'll have a great night. But I had driven for like 12 hours. It was a long day. So I get back and I'm like nodding off, and all of a sudden I'm like, I can't just do nothing. And my guitar was already out, and I picked it up, and as fast as I could play it, I wrote this song.
Wow.
It fell right out of my hands. I wrote it all down, and then I called Roy. It's like, dude, you're not gonna believe what just happened.
That is cool.
And I
That's
maybe
pretty
changed
cool.
4 or 5 words since then. It is exactly
Yeah,
how
this
yeah.
is probably the fastest happened song. He
Yeah.
came home with it. It was done.
I sang it all the way home, and then I taught it to the guy. No, remember I came home on a Sunday. I taught it to you guys on stage at JD's at the Jam.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I drove home from Tennessee and played it. And there it is.
You can't find a better love. Someone to take you by the hand. Give you all the stars above. Whatever gets you through the night. Whatever gets you through the storm. Moving on. Whatever keeps you on my mind. Whatever keeps my mind from moving on. Being gone. I'm coming home. I never quit a goddamn thing. Let's see what's killing me. Cigarettes and whiskey too. I never dreamed of quitting you. Whatever gets me through the night. Whatever gets me through the storm. Moving on. Whatever keeps you on my mind. Whatever keeps my mind from moving on. Be gone. Coming home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a very raw video, and that's why we kept it that.
I was gonna say it looks like you did have like a social media manager or a videographer that you paid to.
Well,
to do that.
we have a very very good friend, and we're very lucky to have him, Nick Balkan. He's got a couple of bands, the Balkan Brothers, Legalized, and he's helped us produce these music videos. Actually, right in his studio.
That's awesome.
That's his studio.
It's his studio, yeah.
Wow. I thought
His
that was.
studio, his cameras.
We actually that was
He's actually playing drums with us on.
yeah, he's playing drums with us on Friday.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's a great guy.
I thought that was a bar. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a cool place.
And he what was funny about that video is we needed that to help us get to Strange Creek. We needed more
Current.
more current content with what we had going on.
Yeah.
So we kind of threw it together. I think the plan was like Saturday we'll do it Monday, and I had ended up working a really long day. I drove. You could tell I'm still in like work clothes and sweaty and gross, and like I like ran there to set up the plugin and said, "All right, record." But like that's the whole idea is, and like Jake had just gotten out of work too. Like that was real raw music, and that's the
Right.
kind of stuff that we're trying to push out. Like we could spend all day polishing parts and this and that's, but when you listen to those like live recordings of our musical heroes and greats, like all the studio time polishing those little bits and pieces for recordings don't mean as much as the rawness of it, and the like, oh, I missed this part of the microphone when I sang, or like my fat finger bent the note too far or whatever. Like it's because I got fat fingers.
You don't even think like here. You're just like, oh no. But in a song, it's
Yeah.
like a
Oh,
way
yeah.
bigger problem.
Yeah.
You can create an unfixable problem too for an engineer by doing something like that. There's certain things you can fix. There's certain things you can't fix.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah,
We dabbled in the trying to fix things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. Maybe there is a way. But yeah.
Our IT department.
Yeah, it lacks.
But that's
IT is lagging.
We try to. I mean, in my mind, at this point, as I was saying earlier, making content, making videos, so people can actually see who you are and what you're doing is as important as the music. So that's kind of the approach.
Think about how people advertise themselves on all social media.
Yeah.
Right.
TikTok is the biggest thing because people are looking right at you, talking right at you. You know, Instagram was the biggest thing because it was the image, the picture. And before that, Facebook got its popularity from being able to share photos and videos. You know, so as much as we all want to be connected with print, which is how things all got started, once we got phones and cameras and all
People
that stuff,
live.
You gotta
here.
you gotta dumb it down for
15
everybody.
seconds at a time.
That's a real man right there. You don't even you can take clips of that song
Yeah.
and it'll make reels for you.
Yeah.
But you can also just like video yourself doing like a riff like that and throw it up. It's more about consistent
Content.
constantly
People need to
posting.
talk
Right?
and sing.
Because I mean think about all of us, we sit there and we like to look at things on there
Yeah.
because it's content. So that
Yeah.
other people want to see that too.
Yeah.
You know.
You just gotta
It's really about the 8 to 17 second reel too. Like
Yeah.
it's not about like a long clip doesn't.
No.
We're bringing
play
back the
nearly
long
as
form.
much.
We're bringing it back. All right.
But they do like that's what gets a lot of plays. It's
Right.
easy
Yeah.
to get an
Yeah.
8 to.
Well, and the reason Facebook has a stat number of 3-second views
Yeah.
is for a reason because
Yeah.
people will look for 3 seconds. But the reality is, if they look for 3 seconds and they find you, and
That's
then
what
come
matters.
and see
Yeah.
you, then all you
You just
needed
needed that
was
person.
3
Right.
seconds.
We need to make that one of our focus correction areas from our Collins writings moving forward. Remember those?
No.
No.
Well, then that
No,
went-
Ron.
That joke didn't land at all.
I thought it was a music.
Well, we went to the same school. I thought Matt was going to pick it up. but
It sounds familiar. Maybe when you start explaining.
when
to
we
me,
went to
I'll
a state-funded
get it.
school, and there was a state program called Collins Writing, and it was in every single class, even gym, even health. You had to do a writing assignment, and there were FCAs or focus correction areas, and the first step was to write the focus correction areas.
Now
as
that
the
you're
teacher told
talking
them.
about that, that started midway of my high school career. You
Right.
were a year
It was,
younger than me. or
that didn't
whatever.
start till my
So-
sophomore or junior year.
Yeah,
It was
and
not
that
a
was-
thing in the
'cause
beginning.
It was like, yeah,
It might have
remember
been
that
just your
now.
senior year.
I probably already had senioritis.
Yeah, probably, I had senioritis junior year, so I had a job. Why would I go to work? That's cool. So the FCAs would denote how you'd get your points, and we immediately figured out that all we had to do was get the points, not do the assignment. Right? The assignment was check the box. The assignment wasn't fill it in with pretty letters. So the assignment would be like you had to spell correctly, had to be like 125 words, and the topic had to be, engines or something or whatever. And you could babble on nonsense, and they couldn't tell you were wrong because you checked all the boxes and you did the focus correction areas. And it became like a game of how far off topic you could get and still get 100 on the test. Right? Yeah, teachers didn't like it, and a lot of them didn't like doing it. So, mandatory.
We need a 15-second clip of you playing guitar, but it starts with a butt. So when you look at it, it's just a butt. Everyone clicks on it. Everyone's like, "Oh, look at that! Oh man, it's a guitar
Guy
player."
singing again.
Yeah, but
Man,
whose butt? That's
Well,
that's
quality.
that's the
That's
selling
another
point.
podcast that we could spend some time.
I was actually trying to do I had a video of me opening a can of Pillsbury they would pop open. That was gonna be part of our intro, and I was like, this will fool all the foodies.
Yeah.
I'm about to do some crazy recipe because there's tons of that on the internet.
yeah.
And then we would just cut to our.
So are you guys really looking for a jingle?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
definitely.
we would love to be involved in your jingle.
Okay,
making
we'll
process.
definily.
We'll collaborate on that when
Yeah.
we're off air.
Absolutely.
But we would love to be involved.
And
in
yeah,
that.
we'll pay homage to you every time that it comes on.
That's all anyone else is paying. So
No.
We'll feed your soul.
I've got homage
that what you
and
said?
experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take hummus.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Which, by the way, falafel is a Middle Eastern dish,
Yeah.
right? Made from smashed chickpeas, ground in with a fritter type consistency. So not from Greece, but good guess.
Where did
That's from your-
falafel come up?
That was your last podcast you were talking about. I went back and I watched
Wow,
the podcast.
The
You don't
last
remember?
podcast.
Nobody's ever asked us about previous.
Nobody's ever watched the previous podcast before.
We're talking about
Trivia we can't
you
even
were
answer.
speaking about French things, and you had said falafel. Is falafel French? No, I think it's Greek. And I continued. I'm gonna remind them as a chef.
I love
Does that have
falafel.
tzatziki sauce on it?
You can and you should put tzatziki sauce. Yes.
This guy can't though. So one
Yeah,
thing I
no
can't.
cucumbers,
No
right.
cucumbers. Take me right out. Oh yeah, just walk around burping for days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barbecue, you don't want
I
that
had
in your
another
life.
buddy that couldn't eat any, even the burpless cucumbers. You
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Yep,
but
can't do it.
tzatziki's,
I like
love
it.
tzatziki
Yeah.
sauce.
I'm not telling you I don't like cucumbers. They don't like me.
I get it.
And I really like tzatziki sauce. That's
Same.
gotta be careful though. Gotta be careful. Sushi in Middle Eastern cuisine. Gotta be really
Tough ones
careful
for
with.
Roy. The cucumbers.
Gotta be real
And spas.
specific.
You can't go to spas.
Who
All
would
the
have thought?
water is contaminated.
Oh, that's funny.
But other than that,
If
my
you put 'em on
stomach
your-
I can digest anything.
I think the cucumber makes you pretty weak.
Cucumber breaks it.
It's your kryptonite.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll eat this coaster.
How do we
right
take
here.
Roy down? One cucumber.
Now, if you put it on your eyes, you're good.
I've
right?
never tried that. You know? Obviously, look at these.
Oh, it's fun.
That's perfect.
It's developing. Good.
We got trout stock. Did we talk about trout stock?
Let's talk about trout. Stuff.
Hey, why don't you guys talk about trout stock?
Good idea. Do you guys like trout?
I do.
Yeah.
Me too.
Tasty.
Trout stock is not a fish event, anything like that. It's a music event. So
Our
sorry,
friends
this
from
week-
Leon Trout
It's
have
friends
been
from Leon
putting it
Trout.
on for 3 years.
This is the fourth year.
This will be 4th year.
This will be the fourth year, and it's in Montague, Mass. This year at a campground.
Nice pronunciation, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would have butchered that.
I've heard a lot of people butcher it. That's why I wanted to get it out there.
We've actually grown up. We grew up with a girl named Montague.
We did.
I don't know if she wants to be public, so
Okay.
Thanks,
We'll talk about it later. She married a Capulet.
I don't know what that is, but
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet.
God,
Anyway,
jeez, you did go to a public school.
state funded. Yeah. The
Tangent. Where are you?
squirrel.
Where?
Trout stock.
Trout
Yeah.
stock.
Trout
Thank
stock.
you. Ray. If it
Trout
wasn't
stock,
for
Ron.
Ray. Trout stock is coming up in July, and I'm hitting this point after the point of we worked 6 months to talk about this weekend, and we could finally start talking about trout stock. And we have tickets for sale. They're $125, and that $125 gets you 4 days of camping, and I didn't count all the bands, dozens and dozens of bands, pretty good headliners, Kung Fu, Leon Trout, Haley Jane, Consider the Source, Creamery Station, big bands that we see at those bigger festivals. Again, through networking and community and getting to know each other.
We roll in the mud together.
Yeah. You camp next to the bison fence. Thank you. You camp next to the bison fence that they didn't tell you was still electrified.
They don't tell you that the electric
that it's still on.
That was last year.
That was last year. But anyway, you make friends with these people, and they at the bigger festivals, and they want to come support you at your festival. And then Leon Trout did that by booking and starting their own festival and booking their friends and bigger bands they wanted to play with. Kind of like how Bobby Flay became a chef. Nobody would call him chef, so he bought his own restaurant. So if you want to be a big musician, throw your own festival, like Wayne did in Wayne's World. That's how it works in real life. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. How it works,
I had never thought of that analogy, but there is a Wayne's World.
Life lessons from Wayne's
Right?
World.
Career.
That's not. No, they've earned their place in the music scene and then celebrated by having a music festival. And we're lucky enough to get invited to and get to play with all these other big name bands and get us closer to having our own festival.
Networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll have our own Woodstock here in Woodstock. That's the goal.
You could do it at
your house?
Treehouse. No, at Treehouse Brewing.
Ron's
they
having Ron's
They actually
stock.
want. So they opened that fruit farm. Well, they bought the fruit farm up and there was talk that they wanted to have like 5,000 person concerts up there.
Well, let's call 'em.
So I don't know that they're doing it, but
We'll get that ball rolling.
yeah.
But this is how it works. See, community, networking, talking
Yep.
ideas.
Yeah.
Oh man, can
You
you
guys
imagine
great
if that like if that propagated into something and be like, oh my god,
Somebody should do something like we're doing, like put it on the internet so people can see it. Yeah.
no, this goes nowhere. Just for we're just doing this for fun in the basement.
I will say we have quite a bit of recorded time around this bench that we have not published.
yeah, we shouldn't.
Probably best that is,
It's best for somebody to randomly find it on the internet.
Well, you're right about the whole festival thing. If you want to be on a podcast, have a podcast.
Start a podcast. Yeah, that's how you do it. That festival's coming up. Hope you can go to Hopeville General Store on Facebook or any of our social medias if you're interested to get tickets. We're going to be advertising the snot out of that starting Tuesday morning.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We have to get through the show we're selling tickets for this week, and then we can start moving.
We're selling tickets this week to Strange Creek, and we'd love to have you. Tickets are face value is up over 200 right now, but we're letting them go for 180 because we're we got to get gas money to go there, but we also want to extend a little discount to our last minute friends and fans.
Nice.
Because I know you guys just heard of us. I'm talking to you who are listening to me. I know you just heard of us today, so I'm going to let you in on the friend price. Hit us up. And that gets you 4 days of camping and music. And that is what is included. So bring a tent.
Other than that, show up with some stuff, or you're going to be in big trouble.
Bring a couple of bucks. They have plenty of food vendors and people that sell ice. You don't have to really go all out. Just bring a plate
Some
of 6
people, there's some people that bring their entire house camping with them.
We have 2 sites this year.
You
He
like
brings
me?
2
You
tents.
set up a fort like I do. We have not only do we have a 34-foot camper, but we have like a full outdoor kitchen set up. We have smoke. We have the Blackstone.
We set up base camp.
Yeah.
I camp with my fiance, and she's been part of a group of friends for many years before I met her that I'm lucky to have been up and joined with. And there's between 10 and 12 people that go every year and set up a ring of tents, and it's
nice.
somebody's always at base camp. You can, if you ever get lost, go back to base camp. Somebody's making soup or something.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to have in a place where you're with 15,000 strangers. It's nice to know 10 people
Right.
at base camp.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's
I kind of sleep there. I'm kind of
Yeah, right.
I do the nomad.
Ray's
thing.
transient. I like transient.
That's a good word. I'll have a hammock at
sets
2
up a
different campsites.
and then he's got a car in
Coolers,
case it gets
multiple
cold.
coolers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I got to figure it out. you know.
At Trout Stock, it's gonna be a much inexperienced camper friendly area because it's a campground. It's set up for people to just come in and spend the weekend. So the sites are closer to your car, and that's gonna be. I didn't think to ask how many. Probably at least 2 stages.
It's 2 stages. It is 2 stages. positive of that.
And I believe it's going to go late into the night as well as the usually
11
do.
o'clock, I believe they have silent disco. Do you guys know about what silent disco is?
Just bright lights.
No. So what happens is at certain shows where they have noise ordinances, they'll hire a company that has 100 or 200 sets of headphones,
All wireless, all different.
all wireless, different frequencies. They come and plug it into the board, and then either a DJ or a live band, it's usually a 2 or 3 piece band, or a DJ plugs into that, and then everybody has it playing in
Yeah, but
headphones.
it's not over
Oh
the
my
speakers at all.
That's wild.
That's
and,
so cool.
and you're just watching people doing a thing over there, and you're like,
What is going on?
Silent disco.
Yeah.
That
And
is
there
so
is a company that does it. They're doing it down the street from my house at Hope Lodge. I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah,
Hope
Hope Lodge.
Hope
venue.
Lodge,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where I'm getting married. You guys should come.
Oh.
Do a podcast from the parking lot. Live. I brought a
At
tiny
a wedding? We do weddings. I like that idea.
you guys do weddings? Have you ever done a wedding
You do
before?
weddings. So, Hope Lodge is throwing one on June 21st as a silent disco, and companies like that. I've also seen you'll get a DJ up there, but you might have different kinds of music. All the red Lincoln headphones might be techno, the blue ones might be EDM, whatever, and they just match all the BPMs, so everybody's dancing the same but to different music.
Can you imagine the
It's way
first?
too complicated
Can
for
you
me.
imagine the first guy that was like, "I got a great idea. We're gonna give everybody a set of headphones." You're like, "So it's gonna be silent." You're like, "Oh, okay." You're like,
But you
That's
wa-
gonna fail miserably.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, it's
a
fun to
thing.
watch
I-
though, because you watch people raging
Yeah.
out, and like you're like, because I they're the headphones that shake on you too and everything. Like it'll have the bass. in them.
Everybody, when you put headphones on, you think you're in your own world,
Right.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
the minute you do that at an event, it's like a safety blanket.
It's similar to this because we're all wearing the headphones,
Yeah.
right? And we
Right.
can hear each
It
other because of the microphone.
makes it easier to focus
Yeah.
on the conversation. That's why I encourage to wear them, even though we could hear each other if we had them off, you
Right.
know, and it would be, it's just like puts you in. Like, I had poker night here once, and more than once, but like one night it was just 4 of us, so we came in here and we just had like a break from poker. We were just BSing. That's part of the untapped, unpublished time. But they were all like, "This is cool," because you're like, you don't hear anything else,
Right.
and it's like focus on whomever is talking at the time, you know.
I love the headphones. I love playing in headphones. I love having my bass guitar.
Yeah, you
in
can see in
headphones.
the videos we're all
That's
we're all
all. Yeah, those
headphoned
are all. We're all headphoned up in all of
Yeah.
that studio situation.
Yeah.
and it helps
Yeah.
us dial in, like, because when you're in a room like that, amps are facing different directions. It's a mishmash. You can dial in each person to how much you need to hear them. That's
That's
key in
what we
music.
can do that. Well, we try.
You're doing great.
So you guys play. So you have 2 festivals.
Two festivals.
Well,
and
here's
a
the-
break.
Rose
can
Arts.
they-
We haven't hit Rose Arts.
Do you have
Rose Arts too in June.
Do you have your schedule on a website or Facebook or anything? Okay.
I've done. Oh, you know what? I haven't done a calendar in a while. It's time to update the
Probably.
calendar.
I think it was a couple weeks ago you updated, but we
Yeah.
probably are due for a monthly update.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, our Facebook page is typically where you're gonna find
Most up
the
to date.
most current stuff. We are on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done a website yet.
No, I have the person for that though.
It's all stuff. We need the link tree thing that you could little QR code on stuff.
We have
we're
QR
good.
codes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you-
all- it's
you
all
know
good
they're
stuff.
free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free, you say?
Yeah.
My ears are.
If it was
right
good
now.
enough for us, it's good enough for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can generate. You just go to like a
QR generator?
Yeah, and you
Alright.
put in whatever website you get. Like we did them for Facebook and stuff. You can pay, and you can get like the social media icon in it,
Mm.
or you don't have to, and you just get the QR code and you can do
That'd
it
be
outside of it.
fun
But
for me.
but it would like you could bring something to.
You
these
make a
events.
link tree. You make a link tree with all of your social media contacts. You get a QR code for that, and then you
Right.
put it on stickers. That's the real.
Right, exactly.
Right,
So
right,
then,
yeah, and
yeah,
on
because
flyers.
people are living off their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and they're gonna lose this.
Right.
But if
Yes.
they QR code it and friend you,
Exactly.
they're not
Yeah.
gonna lose that.
Exactly. That's why I like to hand out the sticker too, because you could lose that. Stickers.
What
these
is it?
particular
Pretty good.
Reminder.
Stickers are
Yeah.
pretty good.
permanent.
Stickers are pretty
Yeah.
good advertisement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Right.
if I give you a business card, you're definitely not going to look at it again. As soon as it goes in your wallet, it's gone. You're going to throw it away.
Oh yeah. Business
This,
cards.
if you're a sticker guy, even if you got a toolbox or something, you're gonna have it for a couple of more minutes, and you'll think about it.
I mean, I'm gonna put this on Matt's car when I leave.
I like in the side mirror. That's a good spot.
Yeah, like the cops do on 395 when you leave your car there. They put that big orange
The yellow one,
sticker
yeah.
on the mirror. That's great. To fun time scraping that off.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, we haven't done the prank thing in a while, so
So you think?
I still have a
That's not
defaced,
paying attention, obviously.
I still have a defaced mailbox I need to take care of.
The face. It's a wiener dog. I mean,
Defaced. proper term I used.
more tangents. So you guys, all right. So Facebook is the
That's their prime
source of
best-
truth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good. And
I mean, I'm 43. You're
39.
so yes, we're Facebook generation.
yeah.
Coming back to the
Born in the
whole-
1900s.
My daughter says that all the time to her. And they both like, you were born in the 1900s, or you were born last millennium.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
that's right, kid.
And I got to see all the cool bands.
Yeah, the whole silent disco thing, man. I'm still on that. That's really cool because, like, being in my 40s now, I don't always like being in the place where there's tons of loud music that you can't get away from, and all you have to do is take the headphones off and you have a conversation with someone,
Absolutely.
and then you go right back to it. That's pretty cool.
I prefer making fun of the people that are doing the whole thing with my friends that don't have headphones.
Yeah,
on.
that's
what I do.
also-
I kind of.
really?
It's all about people watching.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
watching
my
is where
God.
it's at.
Yeah.
This is critiquing the culture.
Alcohol and watching these people dance that you don't even know.
Who needs a TV? Go to festivals.
You don't?
It really,
It's like-
it's really better.
It's like the Croods. You ever seen that movie?
Yes.
He has.
Yes, Cruise 2 with the window.
Yeah, he has a
When he has the
window,
window.
that he moves. He's like, "This is fantastic," and that's his TV. So if he doesn't like it, he like turns around. So that could be your TV.
That's exactly how it is.
That's Strange Creek on a Saturday night. You just hang out at your campsite and just watch everybody go by. It's like a parade
Yeah.
of neon and glow and hippies and metal guys and everybody getting along.
You guys ever played Rhythm and Roots, Ninigret Park?
You know, I actually just reached out to somebody about that yesterday. I have to resubmit our information in November. They only accept applications November and December.
Used to pop popcorn at that event.
We would love to.
They have.
I've been to it many times
Yeah,
when I was younger. Yeah.
You know what they have down at Ninigret Park now is those large trolls. Have you seen this guy?
Nah.
Dabo. He's from
Oh, yes,
Denmark.
I did see the art.
Yeah. So he has the
I didn't realize
trolls
where it
that we
was.
saw at the main botanical gardens with
Oh,
our
yeah,
with
yeah.
our
They looked up the
families,
wild things
not
archives?
just.
Kyle and I held hands and skipped the botanical gardens, and
As one
anyway.
does.
Yeah.
As one does.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But anyway, he built 2 of them down there.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
But Rhythm and Roots is awesome. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
show.
Seafood festivals killer there too.
Yeah.
Usually couple blues bands.
Yeah, they have Newport's got a jazz
I've been to the
festival in
Big Apple
summer.
Circus at that
At that park.
Ninigret plenty times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Newport's hot this year. Newport Jazz is big time this year.
Yeah.
Lots of big acts coming into Newport Jazz.
Yeah.
I'm having a baby in August. So definitely not going to see Andre 3000.
You're not even showing
and
either,
Galactic.
Roy. You're taking really good care of yourself.
Yeah. Definitely not going to Newport Jazz this year.
Yeah.
To see Galactic and Corey Wong. Lots of big stuff. That's
A lot of our friends are going to see David Gilmour in September. Have you seen that?
I'm poor.
Yeah.
what's David Gilmour?
It's the
I don't even know that one.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
okay.
And it I've seen ticket prices ranging from $900 to $4,500 for one.
Is it a
It's
solo?
pretty.
Is
It's
it a
pretty
solo?
sickening.
Well, like he's going to bring the band with him and stuff, but yeah, it's David Gilmour performing all the songs he wrote for Pink Floyd at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So that's going to be a little bit outside my price range.
Did you reach out?
A
to
little
opening,
outside
or-
my price range, you know.
You know what it was?
I
My
have
social
cars
media
that
manager
cost as much
Yeah,
as
yeah.
that.
It
Yeah,
sounds like
my
you need to
truck
fire
is
them.
worth as much as a David Gilmour.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. David Gilmour tickets are more expensive than every single one of my guitars.
Yes, Rob.
That's true.
We should change that, though.
No, I don't need to buy expensive guitars. But if somebody wants to give me
Roy
one, I'll play it.
disagrees.
I'll play it. Play it.
Sell them all.
My cousin works for Sweetwater.
Oh,
Yeah. He's the
Make
guy
deal?
that calls me during dinner, like, "Hey, I was just remember those strings you bought 3 weeks ago? I was just wondering how they're working for you."
I heard you don't buy strings.
Oh, good memory. Good memory. But no, they will. If you buy something from Sweetwater, they call
check
you.
out,
They check on you. That's
we
the
bought
joke.
this
Yeah.
mixer and the switcher from them, and they were amazing.
You got to talk to them though. Like when you talk to them on the, like I call them and I keep them on the phone to where they don't want to talk to me anymore. That's my move. Like,
That's
Somebody
his
Tootsie Roll's
podcast.
gonna take
That's
the
what I
shit
they're
do.
like, "Oh wait, we got to put this guy on the do not call list. His strings are fine."
I call him like, I've been looking all over the catalog and I can't find the Laffy Taffy and Tootsie Rolls.
Right.
Can
Do you have anything cheaper than this $300 mixer? It's a little out of our range.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Actually, I just bought a pedal from Sweetwater. That hot wax.
They call you about it?
No, they're not yet.
Well,
Not yet. It's still
I'll-
fresh. I just got it.
fresh.
Isaac, he's waiting for you.
Yes, Isaac. It's always Isaac.
That's my guy, Isaac from Sweetwater. Shout out. What's going on?
We have a Matt actually
Matt.
Yeah.
at Sweetwater that we deal with. He's-
It's just anybody that buys something from this company has this exact
Right.
conversation.
Well, it's so they don't have physical stores. So
No,
they
Right.
that's what we really should be trying. We should be trying to become Sweetwater.
The Sweetwater of jam bands.
No, that's who. That's a sponsorship. That's a sponsorship.
Oh, that'd be a
we
great
go for.
sponsorship. Yeah.
Great sponsorship.
Yeah. I could use stuff from Sweetwater. I need strings. That's true.
They send that guy that goes out and talks to you. The guy that looks like Colonel Sanders
Yeah.
that does podcasts.
I want like the Geek Squad for Sweetwater to show up and change my like pull up alongside the stage with a little light flash.
No, you don't, Ron.
I think they have those when you start to get big and make real money.
Yes, that's what
right.
it is.
they have those for you.
The prick that shows up in
The guitar ambulance.
he's
Like the guy tunes your guitar for
That's what I'm
you.
talking
Yeah.
about.
I need a tech. That's what I need. I don't need
your
Sweetwater.
trebles it. Your
Yeah, but,
trebles only
so that's
too.
like you have to put some serious trust in somebody else to tune your guitar.
Oh man, let me tell you, I have an electronics degree, right? So I can work
I
them.
don't even know what that means.
It means
It means you went to Else Tech.
It means it means they trained me for 4 years to work at Radio Shack, then Radio Shack closed. So I do.
He could rewire a Battlestar.
I could. Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. So I do a lot of my own work and stuff, but some things are a little bit beyond my scope, and it takes me a long time to do any of the luthier stuff or some of the stuff that involves tools I don't have that I got to go buy. So we were lucky enough to through many ways reconnect with John Quinn. He's not only a music teacher, he does recording, production, and he's a good friend. And he also works on and techs gear. So if you need a guitar worked on,
I don't think there's any hope for that.
you contact Quinn Music in Griswold, Connecticut, and they'll take care. He's the only guy I
It's
let.
right in Griswold.
Yep, he's the only guy I let touch my guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, except for anybody else that picks it up. But he's the only one that can work on it. You know, he's
Yeah.
allowed to touch it with a screwdriver.
Or whatever tool he actually uses.
Whatever he decides, he's his
He's
own
got a
man.
workbench. You should invite him over. He would be a
We would-
great
Oh,
topic.
he would be
That
a
would be
great
awesome.
guest. Yeah, let's.
Well, he's a music teacher. He would actually be a really good.
Yeah.
He could
vocal music teacher.
Where does he teach?
At
at his house.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a
Oh wow! So he's
world-class painter too. In my
Oh,
opinion.
phenomenal
When-
painter.
that's incredible when people have like two amazing talents like that. That's
Like selling houses and vacuum cleaners.
Well, let's be. How many how many vacuum cleaners did
You would
sell?
be surprised how many vacuum cleaners you can sell in 8 months.
with the line, "Is your carpet home?" Yeah, I'm sure.
I actually had. They say when we recruit people that if you do it enough times and you do it the way they tell you, that you'll sell 30%, and that seems absurd because that's a very high number. And Veslin and I got in this conversation, and I was like, "There's no way." And I was sitting in the office as a sales manager around the time you were working there, and in the 3.5 years that I worked there, I counted how many shows I did and how many I closed, and it was 30%.
Wow.
It was
Like,
nuts.
Probably right on the money.
We were closing 1 out of 3. Like,
Yeah.
was
That
insane.
does seem.
Well,
Yeah.
even like you go like every morning, you get there and you clean your gear and you get ready for your next shows or whatever. But we would have like a little sales meeting.
Yeah, they'd have a little pep rally every morning.
Hour.
And they would give you your ratio, and there's when you're selling 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 or whatever you're selling out of the shows, like they'll put
These
that
companies
up.
were so cutthroat for everybody to see 0%.
I don't know if I ever went a week without selling something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I
they
never
put you in
blanked
the
out.
house and you just go for it. And
What are they gonna say? No.
It's a
Then you
gr-
get to leave.
I will say that
Let's go.
I still have Kirby's in my house
Yeah,
now
me
that
too.
we use. They work really well.
We borrow the
And the-
Kirby to clean the jam room.
Yeah,
but
and
they
they're-
still work 20
they're
years
very
later, man.
fixable. They're not these plastic junk
Yeah,
things
it's a real-
that like when they're done, they're done. You can't.
I wonder
like,
if Kirby
you can,
still does it.
And
My-
they
my
do.
shark
You can
wanted
buy
to
replacement
die.
parts. You can work on the internals of them
Yeah.
just like a car.
Oh,
It's a piece of machinery.
Yeah, my shark wanted to die when I cleaned our band room the other day.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I always refer to those other vacuums as vacuums with asthma.
Yeah. I call them carpet sweepers. All right, this is not a Kirby commercial.
No, they paid us nothing. Look at how long we
Not
talked
getting-
about that.
That's how good they
If
are.
you want to advertise on the Community Workbench podcast,
We've plugged Clorox, Kirby, and
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater. Isaac, are you listening?
Call me, I need strength.
I need strings. Ron needs
that's the
strings.
Community Workbench podcast at gmail.com.
If you want to book Hopeville General Store, it's hopevillegeneralstore@gmail.com.
There you go. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has been awesome. And yeah, you guys are obviously welcome anytime.
Cool.
And
Thanks, man.
I look forward to seeing where you guys go with this, because just looking at your history has been amazing too. So
Thank you. And as promised, every time you show up at a show, I'll make you look cool with whoever you're with. That's what I do, man.
If I'm with him, there's no hope.
he's now saying he's a miracle worker.
Can't do anything. I can make you look cool. in
I
front of your
just want to
friends.
say I'm with the band. That's cool.
That's totally fine.
I'm with the band.
We'll wear our own tech shirts. And
Perfect.
I have a friend named Jason Arnold who's probably not listening right now, but one of the best moves I ever saw was he was coming to a show for a band I used to play with, and what he did was he walked in with a guitar,
Oh,
walked
yeah.
right by the people and said, "Hey, I'm with the band," and walked over, put the guitar down next to us, and watched the show. Avoided paying $10. We're like, this guy's a genius.
that's so good.
I have a guitar.
Hey, Jason Arnold, wherever you are.
They're gonna know that you're not with the band. If you bring
Just
that.
wear the hat. Man. They don't
Wear the
just give
hat
these
and
away.
the guitar.
I work here.
But what would be even better is if that guy goes, "I've seen you on a community." Workbench."
Yeah. That would be
wouldn't
great.
even- yeah, you- all right.
I've got you,
You
guys
now
figured
get
out.
my life savings because you stroke
Just
my
like,
ego right
tag,
back.
and subscribe, and share to your friends.
Yes, sharing is caring, especially when it comes to the internet.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Can I plug the Secret Society of Sandwich Enthusiasts?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
You guys know about it?
No.
Because it's a secret.
No.
That's why it's not a overshirt.
Is that your
it's an
plug?
undershirt.
Are we done?
Look into it. To be one, ask one. No, it's actually, there's another great guy that you should get in contact with. His name's Taylor, and he's
Swift?
around. Yep. And around the,
Dude, you
check
got to
out
bring
a
up Taylor Swift when we have a real band here.
He said
She's pretty
other
good.
man.
Taylor. So he was living in the Plainfield area, and around the time of the pandemic, when everybody went home, a lot of chefs and culinary people were sharing the food that they were making at home stuck online, like kind of joking about it. And before that had happened, him and a couple other people had started this group, the Secret Society of Sandwich Enthusiasts. When I had joined up, there was maybe like 60 or 70 people in this little group. I'm like, oh, cool. It's all people around where I live. And it's the restaurants around where I live. And it's chefs talking about food, but they're all sandwiches. So I'm like, this is a cool thing. I start getting into it. Next thing you know, there's like thousands of subscribers, and it's worldwide, and it's just people who love sandwiches.
That's awesome.
The
And
only-
he started it?
No, he was part of the original group that started it, but he was a very heavy contributor, and he's done so many cool things for every community he's lived in. He lived there, did a lot of things around Plainfield. He still does some Plainfield things. I think he was living or traveling to another place and did a lot of other local things, but huge on capturing history and sharing history of local communities and why we do the things we do in where we do them. And anyway, he had my interactions with him had got me like a little too passionate about making sandwiches and sharing them on the internet for a while. Because it was a private group. It wasn't like, you know.
I mean, it must be serious. You have a shirt.
I bought a shirt. Like chefs feel so.
They made shirts.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Chefs,
We're trying. We're trying.
we feel self-conscious as chefs sharing our food because people either love it or they're like, oh, this guy thinks he's so good, right? And whatever. So it's actually harder, I think, for chefs to share a sandwich that they made. So like to have a cool place to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another local community started in our area, and it's a worldwide phenomenon.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
If you like sandwiches, become
Oh
a
yeah.
secret society of sandwich enthusiasts on Facebook.
Love sandwiches.
Is there a test we have to take to get in, or
I
anything?
think it might
They
be
let
now.
me on.
Oh,
All I
okay.
did was
They let me.
You can't be a jerk. You can't argue. You know.
They post a lot of pictures of sandwiches.
We have a lot of
Yeah.
discussions.
Kinda, it's kind of what we do
Man.
here.
A lot of
Like,
discussions like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Round.
Ooh, that's
Right.
I don't know that we have time to debate that.
We can't.
We
get
don't.
Look into it on your own. Thank you
whatever.
guys for having me.
I'll categorize it. Whatever I got to categorize it to have it. That's.
Can I eat it?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we plug some local music before
Heck
we
yeah.
go? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that. Once again, plug in Leon Trout.
Great
again.
band, Leon Trout.
Great
Yeah.
band from Boston. Look them up. Follow them.
Whalum Park.
Whalum Park from another band from Massachusetts, named after a childhood comfort place, as Ron
Right. Like we
named
did
his
Hopeville
band.
General Store. They
okay.
did Whalum Park.
Another band, Creamery Station, out of Bethany, Connecticut, that has been doing national things. Really awesome band, good friends, great people, great music.
Dog Ate Dog. New
Dog
Friends.
Ate Dog, Fox and the Flamingos,
Cosmic Blossom.
Cosmic Blossoms. These are all bands that also participated in the Battle of the Bands that we just.
The
passed.
Balkan Brothers.
Balkan Brothers. Thank you, Nick Balkan, for everything you do for us, and
Go check them
Steve,
out.
another great band. Might be good people for you to get in here too.
Sweet.
You got a lot
Nice.
going on.
Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman,
Ryan Newman.
Righteous Continental.
Righteous Continental is the name of his band. He's in the. I believe he's already in Connecticut Blues Society.
Yep.
And he'll be a nationally ranked
As
blues
is
guitar
Steve.
player.
As is Steve. Steve
Yeah.
Balkan is as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And these are local guys that you just what like. I literally got lost on stage yesterday. We're playing a simple 3-chord turnaround, easy. I got lost in watching this guy. And I lost my place. Like it's only 3 chords, and I got lost
Because you're watching.
because I'm watching him play and I'm on stage with him.
Oh,
Like, he's that good.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah, and we're lucky enough to call him a friend.
that's cool.
And there's
Plug
too many, and if we didn't mention you, it's not on purpose, but definitely thank you to all of our friends that support us, and it's what it's about. We support you, we love you, and thank you guys for having us. Thanks for supporting.
Yeah, and then
our craft.
any of those guys that want to reach out to us and come on,
Yeah,
feel
we-
free. It definitely helps when people reach out to us
Yeah.
a little more.
As it is a side gig, so like when we don't have to chase for.
Oh, we know exactly how it is. Yeah, we've been there. Yeah,
It's
we're there right now. Yeah.
and
All about it.
Really, we don't have a very high bar for entry. Pretty much, if you call us, we put you on the next
if
available
you're
Monday.
if you're kind and not
Yeah.
wanted,
Yes, we praise publicly and critique silently.
I mean, I critique you pretty
privately.
publicly.
Privately, anyway. Yeah, we're-
You've ruined it.
we are cotton sharpening cotton here.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. The Community Workbench podcast is promoting the Be the One campaign. It was started by the American Legion in efforts to stop veteran suicide. For more details, go to the betheone.org. Join us May 27th at 6 p.m. with our Memorial Day special. We will have 4 veterans coming in to tell us their stories and what Memorial Day means to them. So I'm super excited. It's definitely viewer discretion is advised for this one. Not exactly sure what tangents we'll go in on and how how deep the stories will go. But definitely just want to shed some light on what veterans go through and what Memorial Day really means to them, as far as Memorial Day being, about the veterans and the military members that did not make it home. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days.